15 qualities that women seek in a man. The first is money. Naturally, we put money first because we know it's the first thing most of you guys will be typing in the comments with the caps lock on. But money is more than just a bunch of papers with dead presidents printed on them. In order to gauge the level of respect society accords a man, women look to his income. Yes, this is the reality of the world. Everyone wants to be around successful people because money is a yardstick of success. Get off your high horse, since guys also evaluate other men based on this. When someone asks you what you do for a living, they're typically trying to gauge your position in the economic hierarchy relative to them. Money only impresses lazy girls, which is something we want to be clear about right away. When a woman puts forth the effort to succeed on her own, a wealthy man is just a perk rather than a stepping stone. If the only quality your partner values in you is money, your life will undoubtedly be miserable. Second, social standing. This is more valuable than money for the majority of women. Social status is something that has been a part of us since the beginning and is genetically ingrained in us. Since all females in the animal kingdom are genetically predisposed to reproduce and pass on the genes of the strongest specimen, the alpha male in the species gets to mate with every female. In many Arab nations, where a man can have numerous wives, this is still the situation. Polygamy is more widespread than you might imagine in many parts of the world. A person who has social standing is respected by those who are under them. 10% of the males in the hierarchy have access to 90% of the dating pool. Everyone else is merely attempting to resolve the issue on their own. Money and social standing are still used as the main ways we distinguish ourselves from one another in our society as a whole. These 10% of males typically possess it. Looks is number 3. The previously mentioned good genes are still very important in determining the likelihood of finding a partner. Most women opt for a healthy spouse who seems like he'll be a good one for the duration of their relationship. Someone you can trust who won't crumble under the pressure of day-to-day challenges. A physically fit figure significantly raises your attractiveness to potential dates. Out of everything on this list, the fact that we are all carnal beings makes this the most straightforward thing to modify in our lives. Get moving and start burning more energy than you are putting in. Although gaining muscle mass is difficult, it is simple to tell whether someone is healthy and taking care of themselves. Just keep in mind that a lousy mentality may make even the most handsome person look ugly, so let's discuss that before moving on. Whether you think you're unattractive or not is irrelevant. Although you have little control over your inherent attractiveness, you can choose how much effort you put into how others see you. Keep your teeth clean, get a haircut, go to the gym, and always be tidy. You'll begin to see the improvement right away. Number 4, charisma. What makes charisma unique? Few men genuinely possess it, even though most guys believe they do. People's tendency to be charismatic is more likely the result of a chemical imbalance in the brain. The mix of physical hormonal attraction and excitement sparked by someone's style of being is known as charisma or charm. Pheromones can play a huge role. Only 10% of males secrete an abundance of the pheromone, and these individuals are regarded as naturally attractive. You have the complete package if you add good manners and attention to detail. These people are so incredibly charming that they can practically get away with anything. It's not just their appealing qualities that make men like James Dean, Gerard Butler, Tom Hardy, or George Clooney stand out. It's also how they hold themselves. Number 5 is assurance. Women seek out independent individuals. Who has faith in his skills? How do you expect others to believe in you if you don't? One of the most appealing qualities in a mate is confidence. This condition is typically brought on by a history of effective performances. When it's your 20th talk on the subject and the previous ones were well received, it's much simpler to appear confident about public speaking. A man who is self-assured is certain that success is within his grasp. When you've never done anything similar, it's simple to lack it. If you're sick of being self-critical and unhappy with how your life or the way things are going for you are going, perhaps it's time to give yourself a wake-up call. Your life will get worse if you don't change. If you want to become the man or woman who will escape the trap you have created for yourself, you must start from scratch. We advise paying attention to someone like David Goggins if you want to learn how to be confident in your ability to face reality and triumph over challenges in life. Sixth, someone who can look after or safeguard them. Everyone seeks the safety and security they need in their lives on an internal level. In the Maslow hierarchy of needs, it actually ranks as the second rung, just below warmth, food, and water. This doesn't always imply a combatant partner who can take on an entire army on her behalf. Despite the fact that physical defense is a key aspect of male difference. But more importantly, someone who will be there to walk with her through the challenges of life. The fundamental need is to feel protected, so when you hold her, she should feel at home. Someone who will defend her is number 7. Another important thing is this. It does not entail being beaten up because your girl has a big mouth and can't control her alcohol. You're both in this together, that's what it implies. She has your support, and you do too. You two work together as a pair, a squad. Never allow someone to treat the people you care about and love disrespectfully. This is your internal metric for how much you value the relationship, not out of personal pride. Real men don't need to engage in physical combat to demonstrate their worth. Standing up for her should be done out of moral obligation rather than display. A person who doesn't play games is number 8. There is no time for that, folks. Games are for young people. Are you prepared to embark on this adventure with me, or are you just browsing? In today's world, commitment is a major problem, and most men find it difficult. Mostly as a result of their immaturity. They have a condition known as a Peter Pan complex. They strive to always be children, putting off facing life's truths until they finally do. This has biological foundations that are deeply ingrained in our culture. Because of their biological clocks, women are typically compelled by society to mature more quickly than men. If they want to relish being a mother, there are time limits that must be adhered to. Men tend to linger a little longer than women. When you're young, everything is fun and games, but at some point, immaturity works against your best interests, and most guys wind up living with regret or calling it the one that got away because they were just behind in their progress. Someone fascinating is number 9. Even though life is wonderful as it is made even more so when you can spread that joy to another person. There is importance in learning new things, finding beauty, and the individual who adds excitement to your life. It's exhilarating to consider that many of your best experiences are still to come, awaiting your arrival so that you can share them with them. Women seek a partner who will add intrigue and meaning to their lives. To feel alive, and not just at the start. Many people lose sight of the fun and get mired in the daily grind while this aspect of themselves progressively withers away. At that point, they begin to yearn for excitement and hunt for it elsewhere. Street smarts is number 10. Street smarts aren't mentioned anywhere, but in my experience, everyone takes them into consideration. Basically, they're seeking for a self-sufficient individual who understands how to navigate the world and what it actually is like. A blend of both soft and hard skills make up street smarts. Call it instinct, gut feeling, or whatever you want to describe your sense of social dynamics and what it takes to achieve your goals. They are able to get closer to the brink without falling because they possess a highly developed sort of emotional intelligence. Unless you have a specific technical issue that calls for specialized understanding. In the real world, street smarts will always be more effective than book smarts. So long as the prerequisites for participation are satisfied. You won't go very far pretending to pay attention, so we have you covered here. To be a good listener, you must first exhibit genuine curiosity about the other person. The majority of guys find it difficult enough to recall the information and then use it to make choices that affect your relationship. A stronger ability to listen will benefit you in both your personal and professional life. The world gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth so that you would quit interjecting and pay attention to what was being spoken. Number 12, a sense of humor that is shared. People connect over laughter. For that matter, common hatred and interests go hand in hand. But for now, let's concentrate on the humorous aspect. Laughing reduces tension and makes others feel at ease and secure around you by releasing endorphins in the brain. Actually, humor is a sign of intelligence. Not everyone finds the same things funny, and not everyone can be funny. That is why it is so incredible when you just click with someone. When you are both laughing at the same jokes and are thinking the same thing. 13. A man who makes her feel hot. Each of us is dealing with how we see ourselves. Especially in the perfection fake era we currently live in. It's more crucial than ever to practice self-love on social media. Merely not as a means of hindering self-improvement, but rather as a means to accomplish it. After taking care of yourself, compliment her. Be awed by the lady she has become. Enjoy her edges and curves, as John Legend puts it. Ignite the relationship's flames. If you're not in private quarters, give her a sincere kiss, toy with her body, and let her be sensual without being rude. No age is too old to be sexy. Your sex appeal decreases if you cease feeling seductive. Women are looking for a partner with whom they can enjoy this feeling for as long as feasible. Someone who would make a sacrifice for her is person number 14. This tale dates back to the beginning of time. Man must conquer obstacles, make sacrifices, prevail, and get his reward if he wants a woman who isn't there. Almost all of the stories you heard as a child go like this. We'll set such debates aside for the time being because this is not a feminist video. This desire actually expresses your willingness to give up something in order to protect her. That explains why the movie Titanic is so well known. Jack decides to release her at the movie's conclusion so she can use the floating door to survive. Despite the fact that they could certainly fit them both on there. However, making a personal sacrifice demonstrates your value to the other person. How much of yourself would you give up to be with someone? Your life, your throne, or your objectives? Think carefully about how much you're willing to give up, since sometimes it might not be worthwhile. Romeo and Juliet are sometimes cited as the epitome of love, however they were an immature young couple. She was 13 and he was 17, and they had a 3-day relationship that left 6 people dead. Watch your sacrifices. You could be performing them improperly. 15. Someone who can help her grow. We're all looking for allies who can help us grow. They assisted us in improving and becoming better versions of ourselves. You must progress in your relationship. Not necessarily alter, but enhance the strengths and eliminate the shortcomings. Most women seek a man who will support them in pursuing their goals. Who is not threatened by her potential success and who is there to pick her up when she fails. Through our relationships, we are carving each other into who we are. Thus it's critical that the other person possess the abilities and the motivation to carve marble into the piazza. She will reciprocate by doing the same for you.